You're listening to Honey, We Made a Disney Podcast. Two friends since first grade, now dads reliving the Disney movies we grew up on with our own kids. I'm JB Wagner.
And I'm Eddie Ferguson. And on today's episode, we do something totally different.
Dun dun dun.
We are going to take a look at the Disney Plus original series, WandaVision.
Eddie, we were leaving 2000, the sacred realm of 1988 to 2005. We're breaking. This is our 26th episode. We've done 25 episodes in order. Why are we doing this?
So it is my fault. Well, in part, it's partially my fault. I'm not going to take all the blame.
You're going to blame Amazon too?
No, I'm gonna blame Disney. I'm gonna blame Amazon, and I'm gonna blame Target. Okay, corporate America. The man is responsible.
The man is holding you back.
So first of all, Angels in the Outfield is not available on Disney Plus.
That was supposed to be our next film.
This should be our next film, Angels in the Outfield, which we are both very excited to review. We did not want to skip this. Second of all, because it's not available on Disney Plus, I needed to order it online. So Roman numeral number 3, I no longer trust anything that has to do with Amazon. I think Amazon is it is up there with Google and Walmart of the evil corporate overlords of America. Of the world, not really America, of America. I don't like Amazon. I think Alexa's always listening and recording you. And yes, there's tons of proof that is actually happening. And I have no Amazon devices around me. It terrifies me. So
I'm pretty sure. And then on me on the other side, I'm pretty sure I just told one of my devices, can you please order this for me and send it to my house immediately? And it was there in less than 48 hours.
Yes.
It was at my house. I'd watched it before what was happening.
So I've deleted all of my Amazon accounts. We don't do anything off Amazon. Which, let's just also state the awkwardness of all of this. Like, you're the one who read the whole book on like going off the grid.
It's on my shelf. I have a book called Going Off the Grid.
And you kind of had like your quarter life crisis of deleting everything overnight and not telling anybody. And we all thought
I died or something.
Yes. We thought the worst.
Part of that was I was broke. And so I couldn't pay my phone bill at times. My Virgin Mobile pay per month situation.
So we do use Target. I love Target. I know they're probably just as evil as everybody else, but you got to pick your battles, right? So we do everything via Target. So I just hop on the Target app, have them ship it to me. It was the same price. It was the exact same price that Amazon was. But here's the irony in all of it. Did you notice where it shipped from? It shipped from Anaheim, California.
That's why I thought maybe you purchased it from Disney themselves.
Or from the Angels themselves,
from
right?
The Angels baseball team, which just like they have their own copies of it.
Oh my goodness. So serendipitous. So
it is somewhere. Where is it? Where is it currently at right now? Has it left Anaheim yet?
Let me pull up the Target app and I will tell you.
We realized the moment we finished recording last week, we thought, we should probably check to see if this is actually on Disney Plus. And it wasn't. I ordered mine, had it within 2 days. Eddie did not. And Eddie, while you're looking that up, I got a great story for you. I found out a few years back that some employees of Target in their analytics department decided that they thought that their analysis was so good they could predict what people were going to buy before they bought it. In fact, one coworker said to the other, "Can you predict if someone is pregnant or not?" Just based off of their shopping details. So they went out and they tested it. They started sending out mailers to people that didn't say I am pregnant, but they thought maybe but the analytics was saying, I think there's a good chance this person is buying supplements and this person is buying just a car carrier. Well, the person buying the car carrier, they might have bought it for a sister or a relative or whatever. If you're buying supplements, that's for you. So they sent it all out. So then a dad comes into the local Target and says, what are you guys doing? This is crazy. You're giving my teenage daughter all of these advertisements for baby products. She's not pregnant. There's no way on earth. Stop it. So they apologize profusely. Evidently it didn't work. So they try to make peace with them, whatever. The guy comes back in a week later, kind of tail between his legs, comes up to the employees and he's just like, yeah, my daughter was having some extracurricular activities that we did not know about. So I apologize for the way I acted. They predicted someone was pregnant before their own father knew they were pregnant. Mm-hmm. That is the company you're putting your trust in over Amazon. Just wanted to remind you.
Do you really want us to go down the rabbit trail of Amazon stories?
I'm just saying that's the first thing that came to my mind. I'm like, these are the people that know you're pregnant before maybe even you know you're pregnant. But
yeah, Amazon knows that as well.
Yeah. So I just find it funny.
Amazon has the most control over the internet more than any other company on the planet.
Yep. So that is why we are talking about WandaVision today, because Eddie did not get his copy in time. We were talking about doing other ones, and we're like, let's just talk about WandaVision.
My DVD comes on Thursday. All it will say is it is in transit from Anaheim. So it is somewhere between,
who knows,
and this is UPS. So somewhere between Anaheim, California and the great state of Indiana. We will see when it gets here. So we're talking about WandaVision.
Yes. So Eddie, let's go ahead and cue. Let's still give the people what they want.
Sure. Yes. Cue the Disneyest sound effect.
Okay, real quick, the IMDb for this entire series, WandaVision from Disney Plus. Already sad as I'm saying it out loud because the description is kind of weird. Blends the style of classic sitcoms with the MCU, in which Wanda Maximoff and Vision, two superpowered beings living their ideal suburban lives, begin to suspect that everything is not as it seems. Why did they start off with blends the style of classics? Like, that's not is this a real sentence? This is weird. This just feels there's so many fractures and stuff happening in this.
I think they're trying, so a big element of the TV show is the fact that they're playing on all of the sitcom tropes of over the decades. So they're trying to kind of speak to that to some degree.
They just worded it poorly. It was worded poorly.
They did. How far into this conversation should we give the spoiler alert?
We don't. Yeah, because we've never had this problem before.
No,
because we're like, that was 30 years ago. We do not care if we're spoiling.
If you haven't seen this yet, right? So we're just gonna say, hey, there's gonna be spoilers all over the place. If you don't want the spoilers, if you've not seen this yet,
you should go binge watch it.
Then you should go binge watch it. Then come back and listen to us rant and rave about this TV show. So there's your fair warning of spoilers on the horizon here. So I think the premise I do really love as a kid who grew up on Nick at Night and then TV Land. We always in my family watched old TV shows. So I grew up watching the Dick Van Dyke Show, Bewitched, Brady Bunch. And so I loved how this show just kind of each episode played off of one of the kind of more classics of that genre and played it up really big. So, the first one obviously is the the Dick Van Dyke Show, just kind of plays up all of that. What did you think as they played all these different kind of sitcoms?
I think we talked about it when it first came out. We were getting those instant reactions to it before one of our previous episodes. And for me, I appreciated the fact that they were leaning so hard on genre and doing something very, very different than their other shows. But I obviously knew what they were doing, but at the same time, I wasn't like in love with, man, I really want to watch. I want to watch a 50s sitcom right now.
Sure.
But that being and the first two episodes, several episodes are very short. They say 30 minutes on their runtime, but there's at least 5 minutes of just credits for each one of these episodes. Each one of those first episodes left me feeling like, is that it? Like, we're just getting started. Why are we now moving on?
Right.
There's so many things unsaid in this. But I went back through and I rewatched almost the entire series over the past couple of days after seeing the final, the series finale, literally called the series finale. And it is so layered with almost every single line, especially in the first two episodes, have either a reference to the time period, to the shows, to the MCU, to their situation, to the upcoming questions we're going to be answering. It's just layer upon layer upon layer upon layer, unlike any other MCU film. It's just remarkable. Basically every line has some double meaning to it. It's pretty incredible.
The execution of this idea is brilliant. Even down to how they released it, right? That they gave us those first two episodes batched together, Yep. I think if they would have released the first two, like, it would have just kind of taken us too long to get into that, because you appreciate those first two episodes having known the ending. I think in the moment you're a little like, what's going on? What's happening? Like, why is this in black and white? Why does this keep changing? There's a lot of why. There's a lot of that. So I think that was really smart in how they released that, to have both in the first weekend.
I would agree. I actually kind of forgot about the fact that they released both of them that first week, get all the black and white out in that first opening piece.
We've got to quickly touch on the titles of each episode.
Yep.
I think this was also very clever to just kind of lean into this premise and just recognize what you're doing. The first episode's called Filmed Before a Live Studio Audience. Don't Touch That Dial is episode 2. And then 3 is now in color. Number 4 was We Interrupt This Program. They just kind of follow, 5 is on a very special episode. 6 is a new Halloween Spooktacular, which is, a very classic sitcom thing. Yep. Every sitcom has its Halloween. And then you've got Breaking the Fourth Wall, Previously On, and then the series finale. Even in those titles, just kind of following classic terminology of the sitcoms. I think we've said this before on the podcast of, this is what makes Marvel so good, is not that it's just superhero movies. It's that with every superhero, they go, what genre of film and cinema can we tell?
Yep.
And I think that's what they're doing here, even with their TV shows, is they're saying, hey, with each TV show, what genre of TV can we use to tell this story?
Yep.
So, zooming out a little bit, knowing that they really leaned heavy into the sitcom for WandaVision, I am curious to see, is Falcon and the Winter Soldier, is that going to be kind of like your 24, kind of adventure? That style of drama. Is Loki going to be more of your kind of Twin Peaks, Fringe, Twilight Zone? It kind of looks like it's going to have a little bit of a sci-fi kind of off its balance type of style of TV.
You said it's also going to be crime, right?
Sure. There's got to be a crime one. Maybe that's what Loki is.
I think that's what we were talking about last time. Was like crime, thriller style, or serial kind of stuff.
Yeah. What's that? I have not seen it, but there was that one that was really popular that like, the cast was rotating. True Crime or something like that.
Oh,
I can't remember. But yeah, it's become kind of a popular.
And then I was just reminded today that the next Doctor Strange film is going to be horror. I forgot about that. It's from the director of It.
Really? So I didn't know that.
So they're really doubling down on genre throughout all of their products, basically.
And Wanda, the Scarlet Witch, is going to play a really strong role in the new Doctor Strange.
Yes.
Okay. New film.
So we don't really have time to go every single episode by episode through everything. I think I found myself in the first 2 episodes, like I'd mentioned, whenever they broke and they focus more on the MCU aspects of things, when things went off the rails is where they really drew me in. So in the first episode, it's when she tells Vision to save his life. Like that was when I was like, I leaned in heavier. I was like, oh, here we go. This is why are we here in the sitcom world? Okay, he's saving his life.
Right.
And now we're back. And then as it goes progressively, Vision just continues to take one step closer to, why are we really here? What's really going on? Oh, I've got the wool pulled off my eyes. Oh, now I need to go do something about this. Now I need to go step out of the hex to go get all these people who are in danger. I loved that progression of his character to where it got to the very end. And even how Wanda went from having her life all together, went to, by the time that we get to episode, when we get to the 2010s, the Modern Family style, breaking the fourth wall. By the time it gets to there, she's just a shell of herself, and she has no care for other people. She's just like, I'm just done. I've just broken myself. So you see both of these progressions happening simultaneously at the same time. I love that level, even beyond all the references and all the double entendres and stuff like that. Like they had very distinct character arcs happening at the same time.
And you see the 2 actors, Paul Bettany and Elizabeth Olsen, at their finest. I mean, they really showed their chops in this.
Did you see the media hit of Paul Bettany talking about how he was super excited to be working with the actor he's never worked with before? He has high regards for, the utmost respect. And then it was because he was going to be playing against himself.
And so talking about just how they released all of this, I love that we're now back, even with the streaming service, like watching it week by week. But even furthermore, like Marvel had all of those actors out in press for the past 2.5 months. Like every week, one of these actors, if not multiple of them, were doing some big press everywhere. And they just kept playing it and teasing it and doing it. And that one particular one, Paul Bettany teased that, Twitter exploded, where everybody's trying to speculate, like, what actor is he talking about? Who could it be? And they're doing all this, and it's himself.
Yeah,
it was a lot of fun. It just kind of made it, and it also allowed the fan theories to just run wild. To a certain degree, it reminded me of, like, dare I say, the good old days of Lost. When you had all of these why questions being asked, and the fan theories were just absurd and all over the place and always constantly guessing. it was kind of reminiscent of those days for me.
Oh yeah.
Where I enjoyed that, and I would try and kind of see, okay, Catherine Hahn, she's on Fallon. What is she going to kind of tease out? Okay, Paul Bettany did, Good Morning America. Let's see what he, because it just kind of added to the overall watching experience. That was kind of fun.
Do we want to talk a little bit about the music in this? Because it's not a musical, but there's a lot of great song choices in this. Of them choosing a credit song or a piece of the storyline that has around music that ends up having so many meanings to it. And in fact, one of them, I was like, "What is the name of the song?" I looked it up, and it was perfectly timed. One of the big ones being when she's got the radio on, and the song is "Help Me, Rhonda, Help Me, Rhonda," and it morphs into Wanda. So it's "Help Me, Wanda." Like as they're trying to break through the barrier. That was one of those, like, I loved what they did with that, specifically bringing that into the plot line of that episode.
Well, and then you had the theme songs for each episode that, if you go back and listen to them, kind of begin to break the story a little bit for you and kind of draw you in. I think that was one. I enjoyed each week seeing how they were making that opener. Decade opener. It was just a lot of fun. Which one was
your favorite? Which one was your favorite opener?
That's really hard. Do you have an answer?
I really loved the 80s one with the paintbrush. It was the longest one, but it was so in depth. There were so many layers to what was going on. This long, like, customized song that I swear was a real song at that time. But just how they're doing all the different old photos and they're morphing into the newer stuff. It was definitely one of the most intense ones that they created, customized for this. I thoroughly enjoyed it.
Yeah, it had a lot of your Family Ties, Growing Pains, some Full House influences there. Mine was probably the 90s when they Malcolm in the Middle, definitely ripping that off. I thought that was a very unique one. My favorite out of all of them was Agnes All Along.
Oh yeah, that's a great one.
And that's not really an opener, right? Because it kind of happens towards the end of the episode. But it's a theme song. Yeah, they give her that theme song in that. Let's go there while we're talking about it.
And I killed Sparky too.
Yes. That I loved. One, I thoroughly enjoy the actress Catherine Hahn.
Yep.
Like her a character on
and her
Parks
second time in the Marvel universe as a bad person, because she was in the Miles Morales Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse.
That's right.
She's Doc Ock.
Doc Ock.
So this is her second. They must have really loved working with her that time. They're like, hey, let's bring her around for the live action stuff too.
Well, that was Sony who did that. This was her first time with Marvel Studios.
But it's oh yeah, I guess you're right. Whatever. We'll move on like I did.
That you brought up the sorest part of the MCU. Thousands, if not millions, of teenage girls around the world are mad at you because they may or may not continue to see their beloved Tom Holland after this next movie.
Yep.
Yeah.
So Agnes, back to Agnes.
Agnes, yes, it was pretty obvious, I think, maybe after episode 3, episode 4, that, okay, she is not who you think she is.
Mm-hmm.
That the fan theories definitely started to fly because she was, so reminiscent of the character from the comics, which I don't really know. I was never a huge comic book fan. I just kind of take these as they are and enjoy them. But so much fun
if you're gonna bring this actress into the show, she needs to have a central part of it. So she was always gonna be more than just the crazy neighbor lady. So right. I'm glad that ended up paying off. I think that was not the videos I was watching in the post. Hey, these are the 73 Easter eggs inside of it. Kind of pointed to her being something, but I'm glad they kind of waited as long as they did. So you're always wondering, to what extent is she involved in this thing? Did she kill Sparky? I'm sure that was a
big one.
Big ones. So when she finally gets revealed at the end of episode 7, it felt earned. It felt like if they had done it too much sooner, and then maybe it would have been a little bit like, I'm glad they waited until, okay, now she's under control and she's she's controlling all of episode 8 previously on WandaVision, when they're flashing back through her memories and such. No, but I love what Catherine Hahn did in this. And I appreciated the times it really kept me going earlier on when she would just like break character and she would just be like, do you want me to take that again? She made it so awkward to watch. And it felt like both of us, you and I, we have an acting background.
Yeah, we have an acting background.
School and children's musicals and stuff like that. But it felt just like that, where an actor forgets their line or another actor's like, yeah, that's not, how do I get around? Do you want me to take that back? Like trying to be like, I don't know what to do with my hands right now.
Well, to your point earlier, it plays into probably the greatest strength of the show, which is that arc that Wanda is going on, that Vision is going on. Because early on, it's so tight. You know, you believe this false reality that Wanda has made, and it's really Agnes that gives you the few kind of breaks that you kind of go, hold on, there is something behind this. Okay. And it kind of makes you want to keep watching and going, well, then what's behind it?
What's behind the thing?
Yeah. If this isn't real, there's got to be something behind that. There's something there, which I really enjoyed. Probably my favorite episode is episode 8, previously on, when she is walking her through all those memories. That is powerful. That is a really powerful episode. Like, it just stands on its own so well.
I feel like up until that point, every single episode I left being like, I didn't get enough. I wanted 10 more minutes. I wanted 15 more, something like that. And episode 8 was the first time I was like, there's so much overload of stuff I just got, so much to think about. I am full after this meal, if we're talking in those kinds of terms. The rest of them, I was like, oh man, I needed like another 10 minutes in this world. Give me a little bit more information, but that was good. It kept me wanting to come back in the next week.
And it answers so much. It puts so much out there of like, okay, why does Wanda pull on old sitcoms? Why is she got such deep grief within her? Where does she get her powers from? Why is there a connection to the Mind Stone? Like, all of these kind of things are answered and kind of brought out there.
Connection. Yep.
Right. How did kind of all that get started? My, I don't know if I'd say it's my second favorite, but another episode that I really enjoyed was the 4th one. We interrupt this program when it really introduces the storyline of Monica Rambeau. You've got Jimmy Woo and Dr. Darcy. Like, bringing those three people together was such a cool moment, because you're bringing a minor character from Captain Marvel, from Ant-Man and the Wasp, and from Thor. 3, the kind of the far reaches of the MCU, and you just brought them together as this really awesome little team of people that honestly, I think otherwise the whole Sword storyline just felt a little boring, a little cliche to me.
Yeah.
Where it was like, okay, you know, we've had S.H.I.E.L.D., we had, I don't know, like, it just feels like they keep reinventing the quasi-government agency that is interacting with these heroes. Oh, and Sword's the next one. Okay. Yeah, they're trying to, But these three characters, I really loved. I was invested in them. Jimmy Woo, I love Randall Park. Like, he is hilarious. From the moment he flicks his business card out
I was
of
about
thin
to
air,
say he got down the trick. He got the trick down.
And the moment that happened, I'm like, oh gosh.
Gets himself out of the handcuffs.
This is going to be so good. And then to bring Darcy back, just all of it was so good.
I just recently watched both of the first two Thor films. And so that was on my mind of like having her back in the universe was so much fun. Were you expecting for were you expecting more out of director Hayward, that he would be more connected to some evil organization? There's a lot of theories online. I didn't know about this because I also don't have much experience with the comics. Mephisto was a bad guy that kept on popping up as like a potential, Hayward is actually really, really bad. Were you expecting that, or was it did it leave you flat, his end goal?
I mean, his end goal it never made sense. Like, from the moment he kicks them out of the sword, base camp or whatever, like, yeah, it was just kind of like, it seemed flat and pushed. And I just kind of blamed it more on writing and story structure. So I kind of hope that he does show up as maybe a greater villain, or, in another Marvel thing, because it would maybe redeem that a little bit for me.
So
that was the weakest for me. Yeah. That his character was by far the weakest of the whole series.
Why was he being arrested? What was he being charged with by the FBI at the end? That they're arresting him. What are they arresting him for?
Well, he definitely, the use of vision, right? Maybe an unauthorized use of a...
Because he reconstructs Vision, the white Vision.
I know. I love that. The white Vision. Yeah, I don't know. He's
like, is he in trouble at the end of this? Did he lie to people? Did he do something unauthorized? Like, I wasn't totally clear. Did he break some ethical rules? Like, I don't.
Yeah, and I got the impression like somehow Sword had greater authority than the FBI, like just the way he interacts with Jimmy Woo. Like,
my wife also was asking that same thing too.
I thought they were somehow like higher up, but then all of a sudden it's the FBI arresting him. Yeah, like I said, his whole character and all of that was just kind of the weakest for me. I think you could take him out of this and still have the exact same show.
Yeah, pretty much.
There's a few moments where he's doing stupid things just to kind of up the ante a little bit, sending in the drone or sending in White Vision. Yeah. Vision and White Vision.
Was he working with Agnes at all?
I didn't think so at all.
Okay.
I didn't see any of that.
Where do you think White Vision went to?
Right.
I did enjoy that, where their Vision is having a mind battle with himself, where they're doing probability and the existential
the
thought
ship
processes.
Of the thesis, yeah.
If you remove the ship and all the pieces and put it back together, there's still the same ship. That is how it should have ended. Like, it makes, like, they fight for a little bit and then they're just like circling. Oh,
right.
Okay. And then he can sail off.
There is a wonderful Twitter discussion that has been happening ever since that moment. I've been following. So people are now doing the ship of thesis.
Sure.
I think that's sure. For all of these different things in the world right now. And I've been following all the ones on theme parks, and it's like, how much can you change an original, like, so like your wife would appreciate, like there was a discussion on like, how much can you change the Haunted Mansion and it's still the Haunted Mansion, even though, and what's fun is like one of my favorite former Disney Imagineers that I love following on Twitter, Joe Rohde. He's like weighing in and and Disney Imagineers are starting to engage the conversation with fans. And they're all having like, yeah, that ride's probably no longer that ride. It's, actually now become this. We've changed so much in it. And it's actually been quite humorous to see that little mind battle that they had now spill over into all different spheres of popular culture.
Man, there's so many random things just coming to my head right now of all the different questions I have or thoughts.
So let's give an honorable mention to the advertisements. I love
let's spend some time on the advertisements.
That they gave us, period appropriate commercials kind of in between. That's something I haven't gone back and done that I really want to do is watch all of those just to see what are they alluding to. Because you get one from Hydra, you get one from Stark Industries early on. And it's obviously
the toaster in the first one is the bomb that didn't go off in her memory.
Yeah,
because it's the blinking red light, and it's the same exact sound effect as the Stark bomb that didn't go off.
Look at you.
I only know this because literally after every single episode, I would finish the episode, then I'd go immediately to YouTube to Screen Crush and watch their 75 Easter eggs. I haven't done this on any other MCU movie, but that thing helped me so much. I missed so many one-liners, so many little nuggets, like even just Agnes saying charmed. It's like, she's really a witch, that kind of stuff.
I just did a spit take here.
You spit take everywhere. I saw that.
Because I did the exact same thing.
We are
friends for a reason.
I was furious because the 8th one, I think it was episode 8, they didn't have it up. And I had to watch their other guy's video, and it wasn't as good. And then finally, they had the main guy, Ryan, I forget his name now.
Yes.
And I was literally we're in 9. We finished the episode. I immediately went to YouTube, pulled up the 95,000 things, and we put it straight to the TV and just kept it. It's like we were watching a second episode.
We are friends for a reason, because this is
I've never done this for any other Marvel movie, anything. I should now. I kind of want to now and go see all the Easter eggs, because this had so many. I missed most of them.
But that's what made this so much fun, is that we were getting it week by week, and you were trying to kind of guess, and you felt like you were doing it with everybody else. Like it was just kind of a fun little thing. And yeah, I watched the Screen Crush Easter eggs every week, which would usually some other, YouTube video was suggested. And, I'd watch a couple of those as well, but especially the Screen Crush Easter eggs. And I think it has to heavily influence why I enjoyed this series so much. I'll be interested to see, like, going back and watching it several years from now, if I enjoyed it as much as I enjoyed watching it through in real time.
Yep.
Because it just felt like this is what everybody's watching right now, and it was enjoyable to kind of see the dialogues online.
Yep.
And Marvel did such a good job holding the secrets.
They did.
And maybe this isn't just Marvel. Maybe this is Disney Plus, because they did it really well with The Mandalorian, both seasons.
Yep.
That there's some big secrets that are huge payoffs, and they just sat on it. They kept it secret, didn't tell anybody. And there was no leaks or anything. It was just pure fan fun.
Speaking of leaks that never happened and big twists and turns, episode 3, when her brother Pietro comes to the door, was not expecting that. Was not expecting that at all. And then I had to spend the next 15 minutes explaining to my wife about how they plucked him. It's like, this is why it's so meta. This whole series is meta. It's
it like really
they plucked
is.
him from the X-Men series, even
the Fox.
And then they bring him into here, and maybe he's part of the multiverse. Maybe they pulled him from whatever. Were you let down at all by the fact that he was not connected at all in the multiverse? It's literally just he was Ralph, the guy that Agnes was alluding to as her husband the whole time, but then also I believe he was the agent, the witness that went missing at the beginning of I think it was episode 4. Why the FBI was even there in the first place.
Right. No, I liked how they did it. I want Fox's Marvel to kind of, as much as they can, just kind of sit on its own and let that be what it is. But to be meta, to just kind of like be self-referential, that nod.
They recast Pietro.
So good.
That was such a great way to put it, the way Darcy said. They recast Pietro like that. And it was like a very quickly, I know what they're doing here. No, not as much necessary.
Is he, though, the agent that goes missing? Because there's still speculation on that.
I believe because that's why he's got that headshot at the very end where he's where he's like, this is your this is your alias, these are all of the things, like your backstory and things like that. Took me a little bit to totally understand what was going on there, and then Agnes just plays him up the whole time. I was like, my husband Ralph, like the off screen, which is an ode to the neighbor that you never see their spouse, kind of the kind of situation.
Do you think we'll see Agnes again?
I mean, if we've learned anything from Marvel, when they have a really good bad guy that they don't kill off, you're bound to see them again. AKA, I mean, Loki is the quintessential one, but we're for sure going to see her again at some degree. She's going to, the hexes, the charm or whatever that she's under, the spell, will eventually wear off, I think, or she'll be let loose or something. What if the Scarlet Witch dies? Who knows? I think she'll come back in because there's too much fun to just keep for just this one series.
What about Monica Rambeau? Now that she has superpowers of some kind somehow.
I don't totally understand her superpowers.
It seems like she can somehow absorb and redirect energy. Would be my way of describing that.
Sounds about right. No, I'm sure that they are going to have a whole life for her going forward. I'm sure she has a whole storylines that are going to be fleshed out for her.
That definitely is kind of nodded at there. So didn't know that there were secret scenes for the last few episodes. Did you know this?
No.
So when we're done recording here, you need to go back and watch all of this. So there's a secret scene. The last 3 episodes, there's like a mid-credits and a post-credits scene.
Oh, that's right. I saw the one where, so I saw for sure a few of them. I know what you're talking about now. The one where she is kind of like, quote unquote, captured at the end of 8 or 7, I believe, when she is like looking down into the basement. And then I saw the post-credit scenes for the last one. I don't know.
Where she's like in the theater and the one agent turns. Yeah.
There's a scroll.
Yeah. So I have a feeling Captain Marvel 2 is on the horizon.
And that's where I'm sure Monica Rambeau will be in there, being that she was also in the first Captain Marvel film.
Apparently Geraldine is her superhero alias or something. I don't know.
So she's carrying on her name from inside the hex. As her. That's interesting.
Isn't it?
Whatever.
Do you think we will see Darcy again, or is this her little moment?
I hope so. She was fun.
Yeah.
I hope she pops up in random spots and just, I'm here inside of Falcon and the Winter Soldier or something like that.
Right. And I hope Jimmy Woo becomes the new Agent Phil.
Which one is Agent Phil?
Remember, he was the guy. Am I getting his name wrong here? It's the guy who was in the first 3 phases of the Marvel movie, of the Marvel movies, where he's the one who connects everybody. He shows up at the end of Thor. You know, that guy. I think Jimmy Woo needs to be the new government agent that just shows up in all of the different Marvel movies and ties it all together.
Gotcha. Yep.
He's such a fun, perfect character, and and he's Asian Jim. So hey,
he's Asian. He is Asian Jim.
He did an interview with Conan that's really funny. And in there, he actually confesses that he totally forgot that he was on The Office until everybody started sharing that clip again when he showed up in WandaVision. He was like, oh, yeah, I did work on The Office set for like, a day.
A single day, yeah.
He's like, I filmed for like a day and then that was it. Like, oh, gosh.
Yes, there's a bazillion little things that this show had going for it. Rewatching it, there's so many layers. There's everything. Like I said, it's more heavy up at the front where every line means 13 other things.
Right.
They kind of pulled that back. I really enjoyed when episode 4, when they interrupt, we interrupt this program to show all of that. I didn't even catch, my wife caught it first when the snap back where she's kind of forming back. I'm like, what's going on here? Is there like something happening? And my wife was like, oh, this is after the snap. I'm like, you're right, it is. And then it's like right into the chaos of it. I love the way that they set that whole thing up. But I just loved having a full episode. It was like, I needed a break. Okay, we had just had 3 episodes that were very period oriented. Right. Things happening, no answers. This is the first time. Here's an overload of some answers. Not everything, but here's several of them. And then the rest of the time was back and forth between in the hex, outside the hex. I loved that rhythm as they kind of went from there on.
Yeah, it definitely kind of helped break that up a little bit more and enjoy the genre trope that they were trying to go for. If it was all on it, it would have been too much.
Do you think that her kids are going to come back to play? Because you kind of hear them a little bit as she's in the cabin. You can hear the kids a little bit.
So apparently they do play a pretty big part in the comics.
Yep.
Again, this is just me quoting people who say they have read the
comics. Yeah.
I think I would enjoy that. And I would enjoy seeing a way that, she fully brings Vision back. I think there's an element where they have set her up now to be the strongest character. She's the most powerful of all of the characters.
More than Captain Marvel?
Well, if you go back to Avengers Endgame, she's the only one who actually almost kills Thanos.
Well, and that's some of the lines that Monica Rambeau says in there.
Like, she is about to kill him, and that's when he does the whole like rain of fire thing. So, and I think that's what you're gonna find out is those superheroes that received their powers directly from interaction with one of the Infinity Stones, they are really, kind of the higher power level.
Yep.
Maybe. I don't know. I'm just a guy watching Disney Plus.
I just want to say this because we've been a lot of love. We both really loved all of the intros for that was the most nostalgia that we got of anything
for sure.
for each of them. I will say that I did feel let down by some of the 2000s. The number episode 7, Breaking the Fourth Wall. Did they choose just now the ending logo was more Modern Family, but the entire intro for Breaking the Fourth Wall was from like a show I've never seen. And they had so much material they could have pulled from, and they didn't. Also, Modern Family is like the end. It's like 2009, 2000. Like they had the rest of the 2000s to pull from. Now, granted, Modern Family is great and it's a very iconic thing. they could have pulled from a lot of different things, and it was just interesting to me.
Modern Family started in 2009
Yeah.
and ran for 11 seasons. I couldn't pick up any other 2000s TV show reference. What would they have done?
I mean, so something from The Office. I don't know how. I mean, they could have gone into the Office style.
There you go.
Would have been a quick win. I know. I guess Community, but that was kind of near the end of the decade. We have there was some shades of Arrested Development was in there just a little bit, but there should have been like I just didn't feel that overwhelming sense of like the 2000s. This is all that I'm picking up. I don't know which ones they chose, what their influences were. Even the intro video itself, I was like, this isn't like any 2000 show that I remember. But.
And I think maybe so 2000s. You still, even though it started in the 90s, Friends was still really big and strong.
I Met Your Mother.
How I Met Your Mother. You had like Two and a Half Men. Yeah. Big Bang Theory. That would have been that 70s show. So I guess they're playing more off of the family sitcoms.
Which I guess it wasn't.
And maybe those aren't as strong in that period.
I mean, it was heavy. It was heavy Modern Family on that. It's just the intro. I don't know what that.
I didn't get it. Yeah, I would agree with you. I enjoy Modern Family. It's not one of my favorite sitcoms. I'll catch an episode here or there. They were definitely really funny in the beginning, and then it just kind of went way too long.
Yeah, so I didn't want to go without like being like it's most of this is love what they did. That was the one that I was kind of sad about because it didn't. Oh, Happy Endings. I guess Happy Endings was a show there for a while that had a kind of cult following. I just wasn't a fan of what they did.
And like I said earlier, I will be really curious when we go back and rewatch this years from now to see if it really holds up. Because not only because you had the way they released it and all the fan theories, but I also think everybody, myself really included, just had really low expectations for this.
Yeah.
Most of us saw, they're making a TV show about Wanda and Vision. They were kind of the B team of the Avengers.
Yep.
I guess I don't think I would have signed up for Disney Plus to watch WandaVision prior to this. I would sign up to watch The Mandalorian for sure. For sure. But this, I was just kind of like, and I would definitely sign up to watch the Loki series. That sounds interesting. That sounds really cool. So maybe it's just because our expectations were so low, it kind of caught everybody off guard how good this was.
Yeah, it was a sneaky success, I would say.
So it'll be, like I said, it'll be interesting to go back later on, rewatch some of these and see if it really does hold up.
Yep. And it's just crazy to think about all the rest of the movies that we still have ahead of us. All the MCU stuff this year. Black Widow coming out. Let alone. So let's just talk about movies. We have Black Widow in May. We have I forget. I can never remember the.
Oh yeah.
And the 10 Rings is coming out in July. Then in December we have
the Eternals.
We have the Eternals in like October, November. December is another Spider-Man movie. Another Tom Holland Spider-Man film.
That's right.
Man, that's just the movie side of things. Then let alone not this Friday. They're giving us one Friday off.
One break.
So that then we can be re-upped for whatever's going to happen with
Falcon and the Winter
Soldier, which again, not something I'm like super, super excited about.
Sure. Yeah, I'd agree.
I don't know that I really care as much about those two characters, but we'll see. I mean, I will tune in and we shall see. it's gonna they keep on raising the bar, and it's getting harder and harder for them to get over. But then we've got Loki at some point this year too. So
no, Loki will be kind of very similar to this. It will release 1 or 2 weeks after Falcon and the Winter Soldier. So I mean, it's just like boom, boom, boom.
They're gonna take us. They're gonna take us all the way, and then it's gonna be Mandalorian again. Basically, they got to pick a new day of the week to release content, but this Friday is just gonna be just jam packed, Eddie.
Well, that was we didn't mention this, but somebody I was listening to brought that up. Like Friday, you used to have TGIF, right? Like
yep.
Friday used to be a day back in, especially in the 90s, when the big TV show that everybody was watching, it would drop. And I think that was another kind of cool. I don't think that was intentional because that's been Disney Plus's thing since the beginning, but it is kind of fun. It was another kind of nostalgic thing of like Fridays. It's when new WandaVision. So
it's very reminiscent of what I was doing during during most of the early pandemic. Every Sunday, watching the latest drop of the Michael Jordan documentary, which I know you were tuning in regularly for, Ed.
The Last Dance, right?
The Last
Dance.
The name
of it?
It was
still haven't
so
watched it. That everybody says it is, and one day I'll watch it.
It's got life lessons in it. It's got so many good things.
Just don't make me sign up for an Amazon Prime membership to watch it.
There's some good stuff on Amazon Prime, Eddie.
I'm not going to do it. I'm not going to do it.
Stuff.
There is.
We'll talk about it later. We'll
Have you not seen the ending of Parks and Recreation with Grizzle? Okay. Amazon is Grizzle. Everybody thought it was Google, Grizzle. Which they're evil too, but Grizzle is Amazon.
Which we bought the pack of the entire season of Parks and Rec for Vudu. So because they were having a sale. So there you go. I did not buy it on Amazon. I bought Friends on Amazon, but I did not buy that on Amazon.
Why don't you just have Peacock? It's free.
Huh?
Peacock.
Because who knows when how long that thing's gonna be around. Eventually it's gonna go away. Also, this has no commercials. We don't have to worry about commercials. Who knows what's gonna happen with all these 50 streaming platforms. Peacock is not in the top 5. So it's not going to make it.
And can we just have a little side rant? Everybody stop naming your streaming service something plus, okay? This is so annoying. Get original.
Is it called Peacock Plus, or is it just Peacock?
No, it's just Peacock, but Discovery Plus launched a couple of weeks ago.
Did you get it? Did you get it?
We're big HGTV fans, so yes, we did get Discovery Plus.
We might need that login so we can watch Joanna Gaines.
I hate that show.
Eddie, these are fighting words. I don't know if my wife knows that you were disgracing the name of the Gaines.
Our show is Hometown. Aaron and Ben are so much better than Chip and Joanne. Yes.
Wow.
Sorry.
Well, my wife is over here. She's about ready to take her earrings off and come get you. So, let me hold my earrings.
And then Paramount Plus just launched this past week.
So we have that, but literally the only reason we have Paramount Plus is because we had CBS All Access, because where we're at, for some stupid reason, we have bought like 5 different antennas for our TV because we don't have cable to be able to get CBS over the air for free, and we cannot get it at all. And
we can't get it in our area either. We had CBS All Access because we borrow my mom's, and she has it so she can watch her episodes of Blue Bloods because she's a big Tom Selleck fan.
Because they cut the cable, right? They cut the cable.
Oh yeah.
We'd always go over there, and they'd always be watching HGTV.
Still had cable, yeah.
It was sad.
So yes, we have Paramount Plus, Discovery Plus, Disney Plus, Apple TV Plus. Like, come on, everybody! Like, we need to come up with new names.
How close are you to having basically a cable package?
I fully. Well, so we've only got Discovery Plus it'll close out here next week. We only got it so we could watch
the free.
Hometown. That's like our favorite show on HGTV. So like,
yes, we could pay for like 1 month.
Yeah, that's what we did.
Binge watch everything and then turn it off until the next time. That probably would be a good idea.
So that's what we're doing with that. But yeah, I've got all of these streaming services now, and it's
anything
crazy.
to watch.
And
always bored of all the things.
And wow, we have really only paying for one.
Yes, we've gone on a very long tangent, but as you can tell, we love this experience so much that we interrupted our regularly scheduled programming. Also, because Target took a really long time to deliver Eddie's film, so
I just feel blessed that My Angels in the Outfield is coming from Anaheim itself. So
I'm happy for you. Do we need to give WandaVision a fruit snack rating?
I don't know if I could do that. Let's not. Let's just let it be its own thing. Oh, you want to?
It's hard to grade it because we can't really grade it like the rest of the films.
Let's give it its own rating. Let's just say popcorn. How many kernels of popcorn would you give WandaVision?
I'm sorry. That's.
Well, then come up with it of your own.
Tiny pieces of popcorn.
I'm giving my
how many bowls of pop? How many bowls of popcorn am I? I mean, I was into this. This grew on me throughout the process. Especially the last couple episodes were just fantastic. I thoroughly enjoyed it. I enjoyed the experience. It hasn't hit me yet that it's over. That's the other piece of this. It didn't hit me that this Friday I'm not going to have new content, that we're actually never going to have new content from WandaVision because it's done.
It's one and done.
It's one and done. So I'm fairly sad about it. Yeah, let's not rate it. You've talked me into it. Let's not rate it. But you know what we would love a rating for? This podcast from you, wherever you listen to podcasts. Please subscribe and please leave us a rating wherever you listen to podcasts at.
And don't forget that you can watch this on YouTube. This episode in particular, you're going to want to go back and watch my spit take when I realized that JB and I's watching experience with YouTube was exactly the same.
About the 38, 40 minute mark. On there, you can watch us and all of Eddie's hand motions on there. But no, like we've said before, we are going to be continuing on next week with our normally scheduled program. We're talking about Angels in the Outfield as long as Eddie's movie gets in before we have to record again.
I'm tracking on UPS. I'll let you know.
I've already received my copy, watched it, wrote all my notes. It's going to be old It's going to be old news by the time. Actually, now I need to go see if I can donate it to my local library or something.
They're like, DVD? What is this?
I don't need my own copy of it, but it was worth it for this podcast for you. But thank you so much for listening to this episode.